Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see everybody here today. We have been working with Tucson Foodie for a while, and I'm hoping that in the spring we're going to actually do a joint venture with them as far as the class is concerned. I used to run a class called The Hidden Gems of Tucson Restaurants, and I would invite chefs from town to come in and talk and explain to people how restaurants actually worked, because most people have just been on the receiving end of restaurants. There's a lot that goes on behind that wall. And I've had Janos and Jim Murphy and all sorts of some of our greatest chefs in Tucson come speak. And I'm going to see if we can partner up with Tucson Foodie and really put something special together for the spring semester. Tucson Foodie started 10 years ago, and we have been using them as a resource for the classes that I've been teaching about restaurants and food, and I do some cooking classes as well. And they have been a fabulous resource. And in the last few years, they have changed their model. They've dropped the paywall, and they provide a tremendous amount of information for everybody about the different restaurants, what came in, what went away, what's been changed. And they've been, I think, a very important part of the knit of our society here in Tucson and being able to see what's going on. So we've asked them to talk about some of the new restaurants and some of the new things, and we thought that would be enjoyable for everybody. So please welcome Addie from Tucson Foodie.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Addie from Tucson Foodie. I'm the community director there. I assumed that title when Shane took over the company in 2022, I believe-ish. 2 years. Happy anniversary to us, by the way. I'm born and raised here in Tucson, Arizona. I love to travel and see other parts of the world and taste different kinds of cuisine, but I will always call Tucson home. So one of the cool things about putting this presentation together is that I've been to kind of all of them. So that was really exciting to know that I can speak firsthand. I just really like it here. Tucson Foodie, when Shane took over in 2022, as I was saying, he is the head foodie. We kind of evolved to become more community focused. So instead of just putting out articles every day about what's opening, what's closing, we started to focus more on community and building a group of foodies in Tucson that really wanted to spend time together, that wanted to check out local restaurants, that wanted to go to dinners, that wanted to go hang out with other members and drink good beer, good wine. So we really shifted our focus. Now, we still put together really, really great content. We have guides, we've got articles, but just as an FYI, we're really community focused now. And I have the clicker. Okay, what is Tucson Foodie? We bring people together over a shared love of food. As I said, now we're putting together immersive experiences. So we've put together the Vegan Night Market, which has been a great, great hit. Every year we put on the Baja Beer Festival, Craft Beer Festival. We partner with other great organizations such as SACA, the Southern Arizona Something Alliance, Culinary Community Alliance. And they put together great events like Savor at the Tucson Botanical Gardens every year. This weekend, they're putting on the Salsa, Taco, and Tequila Challenge. And we partner with like the City of Gastronomy, the TCOG chefs, and whenever they do their world famous gut dinners, we're able to kind of pass that on to our readers and our community. That's us. The one on the far left is Hannah. She runs a social media page. It's called Death Free Foodie. She is our head vegan. So the Vegan Night Market was kind of an inspiration from her, and being able to work with her and put that together is really, really exciting. We have another one coming up next month, the 28th of September, and I'll have more details for that. That's me. That's Shane. His hair has grown a little bit since then. And Matt Sterner is our editor. So he's the one that's really working with all the news, all the articles, and trying to get the scoop for everyone. Cool. This is just a little interactive slide so you can see our stories versus our guides. The stories are different because they're going to be more article focused. What's closing, what's opening, who just won an award. Oops. Oh, I appreciate you. And then versus our guides. Our guides are a curated selection of content, curated content. For example, we actually have a guide on the website that talks about the newest restaurants in Tucson. We have a vegan guide. We have one for burritos. We have one for tacos. So we're definitely trying to curate those. Hey, where's the best place to get brunch in Tucson? We probably got a guide for it. Hey, where can I go get wine after work for happy hour? We have a guide for it. So just the difference between our content. One of the first things that Shane did when he took over was take down the paywall. So everyone, round of applause for that, because that was amazing. And then with that, I guess I'll let Shane introduce himself because I just started talking. If you want to.
Sure. Oh, we got 2 minutes. Another way to talk about that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we got people on the live stream. Another way to say that, Addie, is that first thing I did when I took over the company was delete our only revenue stream.
You did.
Hi, I'm Shane. I moved here 10 years ago and I made the assumption that there was nothing to do in Tucson. I don't know if anybody moved here and then like first had that thought. Tucson's a little bit harder to get into, I think, than the average city. You got to peel back at least one layer before you realize that there's just an overwhelming amount of stuff to do. There's so many events, there's so many great restaurants and so many awesome people. But I was like sad for like a few months. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, there's this Instagram page called Tucson Foodie. Check it out. So I've been a fan of Tucson Foodie and it helped me fall in love with Tucson. And I met my first friends through restaurants because of Tucson Foodie, but I hated that paywall. I hated it so much. I felt like it was just a big finger. You know, it's like, hi, welcome to Tucson Foodie. Oh, you want to read our content? No. So took it away and then we had to figure out other ways to make money.
Which leads us to our next point. As I mentioned, we're very, very community focused. One of the best ways we did that was by putting together a community. We called it Insiders. This is hopefully in its final iteration. If you were here last year, you probably saw that we had a different version of Insiders. This one's sticking, so we're going to keep with this one. As Shane said, we're trying to become a community. It's how we make friends. So with that, we're dedicated to uplifting the restaurants, especially during the summer. We all know that the restaurants get very slow. And so it's just great to be able to uplift them wherever we can, especially if that means doing something quick and easy, like going and writing an article, sharing something on social media. We tend to do that. By that same token, it helps us bring people together. Yeah, we bring people together. We host mixers every month at different restaurants, and just different members of the community can come and join. So if you're passionate about Tucson's food scene, Shane, take it away.
Sure. Join the club. This was our big bet, the Insiders Club. So instead of forcing you to pay us $5 a month just to read our content, and instead of charging restaurants for content, which Tucson Foodie used to do, instead we decided we wanted to give you value and bring you together and not charge restaurants anything ever. So that's one of the things that we hold dear. And one of the first things I try to tell restaurants about is that we just want to help locally owned restaurants. My background is actually in nonprofits and economic development. So I kind of brought that mindset into Tucson Foodie. I thought, well, we're trying to help these small businesses survive, and small businesses are actually the biggest grower of local economies. That's been proven through SBA data and all kinds of research. Not the big companies, they just tend to lay people off, not create new jobs. So small businesses are super important. Plus they're more interesting. I'd much rather go eat at a locally owned restaurant and try some cool stuff instead of a restaurant that looks like the same place in all the cities I've ever lived. Tucson has a lot of really unique stuff. So I wanted to support that. And so we came up with this model that was kind of like a win-win-win-win. We'll come up with a fourth win. But let me just tell you real quickly how it works. And also, I'm really transparent about stuff, so I'm probably going to throw numbers at you, but it's $20 a month. What you get are two things. Eddie mentioned one. you get events, right? So Eddie and the rest of our team are always putting together events for you. We do a dinner every month. We do a mixer every month. We're going to start doing wine tastings every month. So there's 2 or 3 events included in your membership. And so you just get to come experience cool stuff. For $20 a month, that actually kind of pays for itself. But you also get gift cards from local restaurants. And so instead of going to local restaurants and saying, hey, you want an article? It's $350. We say, we love your restaurant. And we're going to write great content about your restaurant anyway for free. But we can also send people to your door. And so we've got 1,000 members in our club. You want to give them a gift card? And so we've got over 100 restaurants that give every member of our club about a $40 value in gift card. Sometimes it's 4 $10 vouchers or gift cards. Sometimes it's one $40 gift card. Sometimes it's like a free thing. But I think the total value you get is like $6,000 now. And so this is a great way to save a little bit of money eating out, which is nice because costs have gone up recently, but also go out and explore new places, get you out of your groove. Who's stuck in like a routine of going to the same 5 restaurants that are within a mile of their home? Yeah, okay, maybe you're happy with that and that's fine. I don't like that. Although I do go to Teresa's Mosaic Cafe all the damn time because I live right next to it and they're super nice and their tortillas are handmade or homemade and delicious. And they're really nice to my daughter. But that felt like a lullaby, didn't it? So you get all these gift cards and the restaurants give them to you because they want you to go so they can get a new customer. And hopefully you come back and maybe you bring some friends with you. Maybe you spend a little bit more money because you buy a drink. And then we have all the events you get. And so that's how it works. So it's a beautiful kind of 3-way trade. You win. We are now supported because we have recurring income every month, right? We have over 1,000 members paying us $20 a month. So we have $20,000 in revenue every month. Tucson Foodie before was a struggling media company like most media companies, right? Media is really hard. And that's why you see just ads everywhere and you see paywalls up and you see a lot of media companies closing, unfortunately. So we needed a way to make sure we would keep existing and we could hire all the great writers and photographers and do all that content for free for both you and for restaurants. So that was the big bet and it seems to be working. So we're going to keep existing.
I don't know if anyone remembers the entertainment books. Those were awesome because you could flip through it and you could just kind of, I'm going to select this and then you would choose that. It's kind of a similar idea where it's the app on your phone and you can scroll through all of the restaurants. I know we have like Zio Pepe and Kingfisher that have a $40 voucher. And what's great is that you can, if you've got, you know, a friend that's also an insider or your partner's an insider, you can use both at the same time. So $40 times 2 is $80 and you've made a date night out of it. That's really cool. That's what we do. Some of them are even monthly. So for example, Transit Tea, you get $10 every month and that's every month. So that's $120 in savings. That's 2 drinks and a bagel twist, if I'm not mistaken. Great deal. And the events, like Shane was saying, we get to try new restaurants around town. Last month, we tried Iron John's Brewery, the restaurant. Great pizza, great cocktails and beer. You got your choice of whatever from the bar, and they brought out bites. This month or next month in September, we're going to go to Guadalajara Grill, and we're going to test out try out all their goodies. And we do this every month. We're going to add wine mixers, wine tastings. That's going to be fun too. So it's just another way to get out of the house, try different places. Like Shane said, these are all included in the membership, which is cool.
Can I just point out that this is a photo of Colby and Colby's right there. And Colby is actually not on our team, even though he's wearing the t-shirt. He is the first person to join the club, numero uno, patient 0. And he's here and he's there. I think there's 2 people that love Tucson Foodie more than me, and it's Colby and it's Addie.
It's true.
When I took over, Addie reached out rather than me like trying to find people to hire and was like, I need to get involved. I don't care. Don't pay me. Like, just let me get involved. Eventually we were able to pay her some stuff, but
It's true. But I would do it for free, you know that. There we go. Just some more information about like the festival perks. I mentioned the craft beer crawl that happens at the beginning of the year, the vegan night market. We partner with SACA, with the Tucson City of Gastronomy, and just even if we don't put on the event and we can't give you access for 50% off or free, we'll at least make sure that we can get you some sort of perk. That's kind of, or we work together with other members of the community to be able to provide that for you. Yeah, and lastly, you're just supporting local journalism, supporting Tucson Foodie.
Let's
Hey,
get to these new restaurants. You're like, cool, 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 cool. So tell me where to go.
shut up. Yeah. Bashful. Actually, I haven't been to this one. It was one of the few that I haven't been to. But I know Shane has.
I love this place. I think it's the best barbecue in Tucson. You agree?
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. She's saying it's, oh, you want to say it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Tana. Yeah.
It's such a good use of a business that looked like it was about to close. And they came up with this brilliant idea, re-renovated. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. You're out there. You see they're actually smoking all of the stuff right there on premises, right by where you're eating. It's beautiful.
They actually built these giant smokers in the back and you can go see them. And they look like submarines. There's 4 of them in a row. They're huge. They're longer than this whole room. And they're just smoking stuff all day with local mesquite wood.
Yeah, I've been, my family and I have been to Bashful Bandit a few times. It used to be a biker bar a long time ago on Speedway, but they retained, the new owners retained a lot of the local color that used to belong to the club. So it still has an aura of a 1%er biker club, if you will. But the food is excellent. And like you said, the best barbecue in Tucson.
So the owner is Toby Kite. His brother's Terry Kite. Terry owns Bisbee Breakfast Club and Ombre Coffee. So they have a bit of a restaurant history in the family. They're both from Texas or maybe Tennessee, one of those places where barbecue is really good. Pretty classic, like beef brisket, pulled pork. My favorite is the smoked jackfruit sandwich, and get a smoked crack pie when you're there. I'll let you find out what that is.
I just wanted to say.
Not drugs.
I went there. The Bashful Bandit, when I moved here 12 years ago, the real estate broker said to me, listen, don't ever go in there. It's a biker bar, and unless you want to get stabbed, don't go in there. So I never went in there. And they now wear T-shirts that say Bashful Bandit on the front, and it says on the back, less stabbings, more barbecue.
So yeah, it's really good. Kabali, this is one located closer to Oro Valley. This is a new tiki bar. If anybody knows where the landing is, it's connected to it. It's the same owners. You can even get some of the food from the landing inside of the bar, but it's a speakeasy. So even if you think you found a door, it's not a door. You can go through the landing and through their back patio, and then you can pretend you're going to go into the refrigerator and then make another left behind the trash bin. And then you finally find the door. They'll let you in. It looks like it's midnight in there. When you walk out, you're startled. But it's fantastic. They have a great tiki menu as well for dining, and their cocktails are just exceptional. So that's a really, really cool spot that opened. And they have a tiki mug display they made a film about. It's really, really unique.
Rob, how we doing on time? Okay.
Casa Asada. This is a new one that opened, I think, about a month or 2 ago. Funny story about this one is that it's a steak, taco shop, and it took over the spot of a vegan shop, which I thought was really interesting.
And it's the same owners.
And it's the same owner. So, it's a great concept. They're actually one of our restaurant partners for our Foodie Insider. I think you get like $10 off a month or every
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every Tuesday they do this fun deal where it's 2 tacos of choice, and you can get a giant 40-ounce beer for $18. It's called a kawama. So it's 2 tacos and a kawama for $18. It's just fun.
So this place is better than you think it is. I was really surprised when they opened it because it was this vegan place and they closed it because they were afraid of Flower Child. You know, Flower Child that opened next to Doughbird. So they thought that was a big enough threat that was going to take all their business. So they closed and they opened a taco shop. Anybody see that? I was like, there's way more competition on taco shops in Tucson. Are you kidding me? So I was like, that's a terrible move. And then I went in there and it's different. It's a open mesquite grill. You kind of smell like mesquite a little bit when you leave. It's just it just hits a little bit different. They have a really incredible condiment bar. There's so many things you can put on for free on top of your tacos that you need help. We actually made a video where we interviewed a few different people that work there and recommendations on what to put on each type of taco. They have an oyster mushroom taco that's a little different and interesting if you don't want to eat so much meat. So how they recommend it? Go.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. They also have a nice patio space because, you know, it's not 100 degrees outside now. Really recommend it. Gear shifters. I actually haven't been to this one, but it sounds very, very interesting. It's a great coffee shop. It's parked right next to a Baskin Robbins, which I always think is funny, local versus not local. But it's supposed to be a bike shop that's got coffee and ice cream and more in there. Do you know anything about it?
Haven't been. Anybody been? What'd you think? What should we order? She said
She said it's wonderful.
it's wonderful. Okay. Thanks. Next.
Jaime's Pizza Kitchen. This is downtown. It's right next to the Rialto. If you sit outside on their patio, you can hear the concert from inside the Rialto. So pro tip, if you don't want to pay the full price of the concert. We actually did a mixer here and they brought out some of the best pizza that I've had in a very, very long time. Great salads. They're just local mom and pop, I think. Yeah. Local mom and pop pizzeria downtown with great prices for being downtown, frankly, to be frank.
I'm so sad they moved downtown because they used to be in that lovely little co-op close to me here in this part of town where I could just run in and grab a pizza to go. And now they're all the way downtown. They're really good. Really.
So there you have it. Next one. Yeah. So La Frida on Mexican Grill. This is nice because it's on the east side. I live on the east side. There's not a lot of variety, but this bad boy opened up and we're happy. They have a great brunch on the weekends. They also, it's just great, a little bit more upscale Mexican and seafood and really fun, imaginative cocktails. I think some of them are presented with like little trinkets like sunglasses and just really funny things like that. But it's a great place on the east side.
Make a reservation.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I go, I've waited 45 minutes. And I even try to pull the I'm Shane card. And they're like, who? Back of the line, cowboy.
Maru Plus. So this spot opened up on Campbell, just south of Glen. This is a rebranded concept from Yoshimatsu, correct?
Yeah, same owner, same
Yeah.
concept. They just changed the format. So instead of getting served at the table, you walk up and you order and you sit down, they're bringing your food, which I actually like because then you can just leave whenever you want because you've already paid.
They have a giant mural of Godzilla fighting on the wall. It's really interesting. Yeah,
That's my daughter's favorite restaurant.
it was awesome.
Yoshimatsu, yeah.
This is a new one. I also haven't been, but we do have a few foodie friends that have recommended it to us. It's downtown and it actually is this beautiful inside. There's a giant cherry blossom tree inside. And they moved the Miss Saigon from 6th to right next to the TEP building.
Yeah, where the old Mion was.
Yeah.
I've been several times. It's so pretty in there. There's 2 of these trees. There's a beautiful bar with this yellow marble glowing background. I thought the orange curry sauce was the best thing. I always order something different every time I go everywhere, which kind of sucks because like, you know, I don't know about you, but you know, there's something you have in mind and then you go eat it and then you eat that again and again. You kind of get the same 2-3 things on a menu. I bet most of you do that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. Because my job, I got to research stuff. But every time I go, I get the orange curry sauce and I dump it on whatever new stuff I get. Get the orange curry sauce.
Slow Body Beer. This is right in the heart of, I'm calling it Beer Belt because south of Broadway, between, what is that, Tool and some other road, you've got Moda Sonora, you've got Iron John's, you've got Barrio Brewing, and now you've got Slow Body. Slow Body is a beautiful building. I believe it was owned by the people who owned the Biosphere at some point, like there was some connection there. It's a beautiful mid-century modern space. The beer it's called Slow Body because I believe everything is below 7% alcohol. They even make their own shrubs so that they mix it with a mixer. They made a prickly pear pineapple thing the other day that was just delicious. Beautiful space. They've got plenty of seating outside. And all the beer is really good. I'm a fan of their hazy IPA and the shrubs. And the shrubs change every week, which is really cool. This one, Tesoro Latin Kitchen and Cantina. This one opened up. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's right next to the Tucson Mall. So I think it took over the space where Mimi's used to be.
Who's been? Who's been to El Tesoro? Cool. I think a lot of people miss it. They need some more business, so go check them out.
Yeah, they're close. They're nearby. They have a picture of Lake Sangria. They've got TVs if you want to watch the game. And just really all around good food, good Mexican food. Ooh, staff favorites.
Okay. I was gonna throw some stuff in if you forgot some stuff that I wanted to say.
You can,
Forbes, yeah, go ahead.
I just went here last night and I've been here 3 times already. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Forbes. He's the butcher. He was downtown. Recently he was at Flores Market. All of his livestock is locally sourced. I know he participates a lot with 4-H. Just a really, really great butcher. He flies in seafood. I think he got a giant like kilo of caviar recently that he's throwing on everything right now. But his passion was always to open up his own restaurant / butcher shop, which he's finally done. This is on 6th Avenue, in front of like the 5 Points.
It's at
area.
5 Points,
Yeah.
18th Street,
18th.
6th, yeah.
And it's a brasserie, a shop, and he's got wine, beer. He's working on his liquor license. But he's got a great steak frites dish for like $22. He had like a shrimp entree that I had yesterday for about 20. And everything he's just pulling fresh from his collection. I don't know how to say that. It's really, really great, really worth checking out and supporting your local butcher shop. He makes great sausages too, like an elote sausage and like a Chinese dumpling one.
He's the best butcher in town.
He really
It's the
is.
best meat in town, and he'll do anything you want. So if you call and you're like, look, I'm trying to cook, I don't know, a rabbit dish, he'll source a rabbit for you. Okay, he'll cut it up however you want. So he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a
Ben, his
character.
name's Ben.
Penelope Pizza. They started off as a mobile pizzeria. They used to be called Over the Counter. Then they moved to the Cartel Shop. It was a coffee shop downtown. So they were like cohabitating that space right next to Thunder Canyon. They're not doing that anymore. They are on the east side. So Broadway, Kolb area. They were recently named number 46 out of the 50 best pizzas in the United States. And this was by like an Italian competition. So like they know what they're talking about. And we were ranked number 46. Really great bar program, mostly because my husband is the bartender there. Go visit him. His name's Steven. It's really, really, really great pizza. I had a mortadella dish recently. They basically seared it. They seared the mortadella and then skewered it and then added mustard seeds on top. It was amazing. It was such a great dish. So simple.
And they're killing it. I'm really happy for them. I don't know if it's because there's just not enough stuff on the east side. So the east side is just so happy to have a great restaurant.
We're so happy.
But I don't know. I've been here for 10 years and like that's the number one question I get. What's the best pizza? This is number 2. First one is what's your favorite restaurant? And then I'm like, don't make me answer that. But that's the second one. What's your best pizza? I guess Americans love pizza. And the whole conversation has shifted since they've opened. It was Anello, Fiamme, what else? Any other favorites? Jaime's. Now it's, oh, Penelope might be number 1. That's really good. Go check them out.
It is really worth the drive. I'll say one more thing. They have a lasagna that's 10 layers and I counted them and it's got a lemon ricotta to die for. Really recommend it. JoJo's.
JoJo's one of my favorites. We've done 2 special dinners with them. One was one of our member dinners, so y'all could have come and learned and experienced some experimental dishes. But then, just for fun, we did a dinner last month that was an all mushroom themed dinner. Each dish was centered around a different type of mushroom. We worked with a local mushroom grower called Sunset Mushrooms. But this place is great. You know the old La Cocina down by the Museum of Art, Fine Art. Yeah.
Museum of Art.
So La Correct, you know, that courtyard with all the little shops wrapped around it. So they're there now. It's actually the son of the woman who ran La Cocina, whose name was Jojo or Joe. So named after her. But just surprisingly delicious food. They have some like Spanish pinchos, which are kind of like small bites that are priced in the single digit, which are fun. So you can get a bunch of those, and they have entrees. My favorite is the cod, which you can get as a sandwich or thrown on a salad. I'm not sure why JoJo's is so dang good. just executed, just cooked. They just know how to cook good food, I guess. It's really good.
Yeah, the chef is wildly talented. You can have brunch or lunch in the courtyard, which is JoJo's, and then they've got the monsoon room, which used to be like the monk room or something like that. So it's another bar area that's indoors with bumper pool tables and the pincho. So those little small bites, really good.
And then right across the street there is Ceres, Ceres. Best pasta in Tucson. She agrees in the back. Happens to be the wife of Ben, who runs JoJo's. So they got restaurants right across the street, which is cool. And well, they did something really cool in between JoJo's and Ceres. They shut the street down. They made it pedestrian only, which I hope is a trend because I would love some more of that. But they blocked it off for cars. They put some permanent tables out there with some tents. They have amazing gelato. All the pasta is made by hand, in-house, fresh daily.
And the gelato changes every week. So last week they had like a matcha with a honey drizzle. They'll do like a raspberry sorbet. They get really creative, really cool stuff, and it's all takeout. So you just go to the window, place your order and then pick it up and eat somewhere nearby, like where it's pedestrian.
You're also allowed to go into JoJo's and eat, which is cool.
I only chose 3 of the restaurants. Did you want
Those
to
are good
say-
ones.
Yeah.
Well, what about Casa Madre? Everybody heard about it? Cool. No one. Wow. All right.
Does anybody know about the chef Dominique Stoller? She won a knife fight a couple years ago, and I think she was an Iron Chef winner, or at least competitor. Sounds good. She's a great chef.
Have you been down there yet?
I have.
And what'd you think?
I like. Oh, Bascaria.
Oh yeah, Bascaria. That's the next one I was going to mention.
Oh, you were going to, I'm
No,
sorry.
you do it, Rob.
Okay.
You do it.
So, sorry. So, downtown, they just opened up a brand new Spanish restaurant called Bascaria. My wife and I went earlier this week. It's, if you know where the Rialto is, then next to Rialto to the left is Oban. And then to the left of that was a place that kept cycling through. That was, I don't even
It was a
remember.
sauce pizza most recently.
Yeah.
Before that, it's like a firewood
Yeah,
pizza.
it was not a good place. It's directly across the street from Urban Pita, which makes spectacular pitas, but unfortunately their lobby was flooded. The main floor was flooded, so that and there
It's
was
the
some-
same owner. Do you realize that? Urban Pita and Bascaria.
I didn't
Freddie.
realize that.
Yeah, same guy.
Anyway, so we went there. They have paella, which is really well made. It's a real tough thing to serve in a restaurant environment. And you were talking about pinchos before. So in Spain, especially up in the Basque region, their food comes in multiple sizes. Pinchos are really, really small. Then you have tapas. Then you have media, which is a half portion. And then you have entrees. So they serve pinchos, but they're very generous. And then they also have entrees as well. And it's clean and bright, and the food was really good, reasonably priced, and I highly recommend it as a place to try. The parking is a little difficult because it's right on that corner that comes around, so you need to kind of probably walk unless you use the parking lot right across the street.
Yeah, which is just like $3 if you're there for 4 hours. And you can also park for free just across Broadway and use the button so you get to cross. And I can always find a spot next to that weird plasma clinic.
That's why.
Yeah. So I highly recommend parking next to a sketchy plasma clinic.
They
It's free.
do a really nice tortilla español as well as patatas bravas and so many different things and really small things like pinchos like they were talking about, and their wine that they have several different really nice tempranillos and a grenache that really pair very, very well with it. They have a couple of larger tables so you can get like a whole group of friends, and down there at when it's not very busy, like maybe 4 or something like that, and just sit there and have tapas and wine. It's awesome.
And that's the secret to
Sangria
life.
as well.
Sangria. That's the secret to life. Eat when other people aren't. Then you get easy free parking. There's usually like happy hour prices. No waiting in line.
I think Rob said one of the bottles.
It's called Bascaria. B-O-S.
No, B-A-S.
B-O-S-Q.
B-A-S.
B-A-S?
Uh-huh.
Well, but
Like
I thought Basque was
the
B-O.
Basque region
Oh, okay. Sorry. You got it?
or Basque region. Yeah, I think Robbie said that one of the bottles of wine was like $21. Yeah, split that. Any other restaurants that we're not?
No, unless anyone else has a new restaurant that opened within the past 6 months that you think we should mention. School us. What
But I
don't we
do
know
have a
about?
Question,
Yeah.
coming from Seattle, where we have terrific Asian food,
Okay.
where can you get good Vietnamese food here?
Oh, Vietnamese. I was waiting for all
Exist.
the other stuff. This guy might know. Kobe, do you know? Yeah, that's no.
There's a couple of really nice places where you can get, I mean, it depends on, are you looking for like pho or are you? Yeah. So like one of my favorite pho places is over at, let's see, over on Grant near, oh gosh, right down the street from Nico's. You know the one I'm talking about? No, not Tuk Tuk. Tuk Tuk is they do some really nice things. Yeah, but this is, no, shoot.
Look it up. Look it
Yeah,
up and
I'll
tell
look
us
it
in
up,
a
I'll look it up.
second.
Yep.
I haven't found any. Mario's
It's
Japanese.
Japanese. I'm sorry, you had a question.
Well, the first one that came to mind for Vietnamese is Ha Long Bay. But what I wanted to make a comment about is that address for La Frida, I think, was incorrect. It showed only 3 digits, East 22nd, but it's actually out near Pantano and 22nd. So I
Yeah, it's
just
on
wanted to,
22nd.
if anyone was relying on
Thank
that
you.
address.
Are we going to get a copy of this to everybody?
Yep.
Great.
Yeah,
We'll
we can do
correct
that.
that for you. Thank you. Thank you for the editorial accountability.
Yeah, I had a question. I moved to Tucson a couple of years ago. I lived a lot of different
Welcome.
places in the US. One of the things that strikes me that's fairly unique, both here and in Phoenix, is proliferation of breakfast restaurants. I've never seen so many breakfast restaurants in my life. And I wonder if you have any thoughts on that. I mean, some of them are pretty pedestrian. Are there any in particular
Agree.
that strike you as pretty good?
Sure. We probably all have our own favorites. I love Buen Dia.
Yeah,
you
that's
have to-
rated, that's rated like #1 in the country. It's
yeah.
Really, really.
Buen
high.
Dia.
Dia.
BUEN. Like good day.
It's on,
First
near
Grant.
First and Grant-ish. Yeah, great. I just really like the Cafe Olla is really nice. There's something for everybody, and their pancakes taste like they should. You know what I mean? I grew up in the Midwest. Like I want some buttermilk tasting delicious pancakes with some quality syrup.
So I got a question online really quickly. Somebody said, can you recommend some good happy hour restaurants in town as our club meets monthly for happy hour specials?
Sure, we can do that. Also, but real quick, gentlemen, with the breakfast, we have a guide to the best cafes in Tucson. We have a guide to the best breakfast burritos in Tucson. We have the brunch guide. And we make little comments in there from each of us on why we picked those places. So I recommend digging through those. There's so many, it's kind of like, just when you said that, like 15 places went through my head for breakfast. It's kind of a hard one.
I think one of my favorites, I don't like smelling like diner food, so I try and be careful. I like to eat outside, but one of my favorite ones is 5 Points. They make a really, and I love a savory breakfast more than anything. So they make a really great pulled pork torta, or they have a vegan version, which I forget what it is, but it's really good. It's got a great patio outside. They've got really great coffee options. It's also just a little market as well. Yeah.
It's a smoked beet sandwich, the vegan version. That's my favorite dish in the entire city of Tucson, is the smoked beet sandwich at 5 Points Cafe. I was able to make friends with this Dr. Andrew Weil guy. And when I met him, he was like, why are there no good restaurants in Tucson? And I was like, this guy. Anyway, so I took it as a challenge. So I've been taking him out to restaurants, and that's his favorite. That's the first place I took him. And I made him order the smoked beet sandwich, and he still says I haven't found anything better yet for him. His second favorite, by the way, is Kung Fu Noodle.
Well, you know, he has his own restaurant now.
He does.
Yeah,
He does have his own restaurant. Yeah. About
But-
dang time.
Two places I really like is the Thai market. You know, they have great food and they also have a market. But also there's this place, if you live on the east side, called the Quesadillas over at Craycroft and Grant. It's a tiny little place. And, you know, it is, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a, you know, there's no, you know, not a really a dining, there's no waiters or anything, but it's always packed because the food is so good and it's,
Barista Del Barrio,
reasonable, affordable.
or, yeah. Has anybody been to Barista Del Barrio? James Beard, did he win or was it just nominated? A James Beard nominated guy running just like a burrito window. Everyone was like, what? I love it so much. It's like a little surprise. You order a burrito, you unwrap it. It's actually two little burritos that are cute, like little hugs, and they fit in your mouth, which is great for me because this beard is a problem. Yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to what I think are absolutely great bagels, which are hard to find.
Puppies.
Bubby,
Yeah, Bubba's
yeah, good.
best bagels in Tucson.
In business.
They're doing well. And they're a partner. So if you're a member, I think you get $5 every month
There's two of them.
or something like that.
Campbell and
The
Roach.
happy hours. So we have the.
Oh, happy hours. There's so many happy
Funny
hours.
you should ask. We have a guide for that. We have two guides for that. What's your favorite happy hour?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I
like-
can't help with happy hour.
The Terraza Hacienda del Sol is really great. First of all, it's a beautiful property. And on Tuesdays, they'll do Tiki Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, they'll do Wine Wednesdays. And you can get a hefty pour for less than $8 of like a really stellar red wine or, cocktail. And the food bites are really good too. Like they have some really nice spring rolls that they just came up with recently. They had some monkeys on a stick for the Tiki Tuesdays. Then they'll do like a rolled taquitos on Thursday and they'll pair it with something else.
Happy hour is really tough. It changes constantly.
It does.
So the guide we made, it's already like probably 50% out of date. So I'm actually trying to find somebody who can be like the happy hour queen of Tucson and just do the hard work. Like a lot of places don't update their website. They don't even post it on social media. You have to call. Even that doesn't work. So this is like a real job to create an accurate guide for happy hours. It's tough.
They're not local, but they are Arizona based and it's Postino's. They do a really, really cool happy hour. I think it's like a bottle of wine and a board of bruschetta for like $25. You can get a pitcher of beer for less than $10 before 6 p.m. And just some other bites like that. I know they're not local, but still really great value.
Another question from online.
So
A Bosqueria has a good happy hour?
Yeah.
online, somebody wants to know if you have a guide for gluten-free.
We do.
We do. We made a guide. If you saw the first guide that we tried to make about a year ago, we really messed that up because we made it. None of us are gluten-free. So we heard from the celiac community immediately. So then the guide right now is curated by a local celiac. And we probably need to update it. I think we made it more than 4 or 5 months ago. So we need to check back in with her and keep it updated. But yeah, it actually, I think it notates gluten-free versus celiac approved kitchen or whatever the right terminology is so that you can feel comfortable on where you can actually go depending on your sensitivity level. Okay.
Somebody else is asking about your guides, if they can be made printable. I'm not sure. Are they printable the way they're set up?
That's a good idea. Give me a week and I'll make a button that says print.
There you go.
And you just click it and then it'll export to PDF automatically in a nice formatted way. We did that with articles, so I can totally get it done.
There you go,
That's a great
Bonnie.
recommendation.
Yeah, but if you open it on a computer and you click print, you can just do it from your browser. It won't be formatted super well, but you could do that right now.
Great.
Colby.
I know we're talking a lot about new places, but there's one of the lists that I love that I keep going back to again and again is the ultimate Tucson restaurant bucket list. And I keep going down through there and making interesting discoveries there too. So it may not be new, but could be new for you. Because like there's a few places where I went, oh, I've never been there. I've lived here for almost 4 years now, and I've never been to insert restaurant here. And people would be, what? That's an amazing place. You've never been. But it's this really nice curated list that has all kinds of different foods, all kinds of every meal, happy hours, all the different things on there. It's the ultimate bucket list. Yeah.
That's our number one most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Tucson Foodie website. Yes.
We do
Yes.
pretty good with Google search results. So if you just search ultimate restaurant list or bucket list or anything like that, you'll probably come up at the top. But if you go to Tucson Foodie, there's a big guides button at the top. If you click on that, that's the first one you'll see because it's our most popular. Question? Hold on, use the mic.
Just to clarify, is your website and your goal mostly descriptive rather than critiquing?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the decisions I had to make when I took over Tucson Foodie, because it's the number one request that we get from our readers. Why don't you do critical reviews? And there's a couple answers. One is none of us are really qualified to write critical reviews. If I can find somebody in Tucson, I'll consider hiring them, but they need to do it the way I want them to do it, which is constructive, right? Because I have built close partnerships with all these restaurant owners in town, and I want them to fear me. I want them to answer the phone when I call. We want to help them. We want to support them. You can go to Yelp to read like pretty disgusting teardowns. I actually hate Yelp. We're the opposite of Yelp. They're my arch nemesis, if you will. I want to help local restaurants, but I think critiques could be done in a helpful way. I just want to be really careful about it. And I want somebody who has the credibility, years of experience, who's willing to step into that role. I only known one who's done it here in Tucson. It's Edie Harleen. We hire her for stuff. She doesn't want to do it anymore because she wants to not be feared when she walks into a restaurant. So she refuses. Because this Tucson's like, we all help each other. We're a small town. In New York, I guess you could be like one of those New York Times editors that people fear and still be fine. I don't know.
I agree with you. I
Oh, great.
think that the critiquing, but in terms of helpful suggestions, let me ask you this. If you go to a place that's really the pits,
We just don't write about
you
it.
just don't write about it.
We give them time. I might try to help out personally, like on the side, or connect them with some great resources, like in connecting them to other owners and chefs so they can support them, or to Local First Arizona, who has great programs to help restaurants. But if we go to a place and we have a bad experience, we just kind of don't write about it.
Okay.
But we'll go back, we'll try to help.
Does,
Yeah.
and I assume that your website, a premise that you indicate is just that your goal is description. You don't consider yourselves experts, but you do have, if you like a restaurant, for whatever value that is, you can say that. But
Yeah.
your goal is never to critique and never to write about a terrible restaurant.
That's
So
correct.
say that somewhere in.
Yeah, I just redid the about page to try to say that. And I think I wrote something like, we help you find what's good. We want to help you find where to eat. If you want to find out where not to eat, go read Yelp or something. We're going to help you find where to go, where to eat, the good stuff. And then also we have a stated mission to celebrate and support the local culinary scene. So, we try to be super transparent about it. I don't think people understand that yet. So we all need to do a better job of reinforcing that.
I will just say that every month, the Tucson Foodie staff selects their top picks of the month. So you get to see what we personally enjoyed. You'll see it from our own personal point of view as well.
You want to go over some event stuff? We want to do one more question?
We've got,
Yeah. My wife and I moved here from Chicago,
Welcome.
Deep Dish Pizza. Yep.
Rocco's.
And how did Tucson become such a capital for food and restaurant? That's probably an interesting story.
I was just talking with Jonathan Mabry, the head of the city gastronomy, to try to figure out like why that's the case. And I was just talking with Kimber, the head of Local First up in Phoenix, and we don't know. There's so many different, I think the answer is there's like 10 reasons, right? Like just this, it starts with like this deep history of agriculture, like over thousands of years, like predates America, right? So just so much as agriculture is such a focus in Southern Arizona, way more than Northern Arizona, way more than Phoenix. Did you know that 80% of what grows here is either edible or medicinal? That's like a higher percentage than the rainforest. Like the desert is just bursting with stuff that it's healthy. It's just like here. It's like Mother Nature's like, it's fine. Just eat anything. You'll probably be fine. So I think like the natural resources that we have here, the history of agriculture, and there's something happened, and I don't know how this got started, but something happened here where more than any other city that I can find, the chefs support each other. They want each other to win, right? You go to LA, they're like, like they throw shade at each other. It's competitive. There's something here where they rally together and they help somebody get started. They help somebody who needs help because they might be failing. And there's this incredible collaboration that's happening. So you see tons of like mixers where they come together and they like create dishes together. They love featuring locally owned or local products from local artisans, and they're proud of that. They put it on the menu. Sure, you see that in other cities, but I think we see that at a higher rate here. And I don't know, there's just this sense of togetherness here. And then there's other reasons why we're a city of gastronomy, for example, which are like where chefs give back to the community and make it a point and part of their business model. Restaurant owners do that at a higher rate. The way that we grow crops locally and to be a little bit more sustainable, there's more of an emphasis on regenerative agriculture and organic farming. And then there's more of an emphasis, you might be surprised by this, or not be surprised, on growing foods that are more drought resistant and less water intensive. Yeah?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. We gotta do events?
no.
Oh, wait
We-
for the mic.
I've been here since the 80s, and the whole thing with Tucson is what we just learned from Tucson Foodie is the essence. Tucson is love and support and togetherness like no other city. And so if somebody's doing something bad, we just like give them a chance and just turn our head rather than point fingers and inflame. So really, it's the Tucson love.
Oh, you really articulated that well. Thank you.
That was
We've,
beautiful.
we've,
The other thing is that Joe Guerra, who started Barrio Bread, if you remember a long time ago, he had a whole series of ovens in his garage. So you would go online, you'd place an order, and he would bake all night Friday night. And Saturday morning, you'd go over to Plaza Palomino and he'd have 250 orders there that he's been baking and is bleary-eyed. And then it just got to be too much. And he and Janos went to the the Department of Agriculture, and he presented to them this whole use of the locally grown wheat. And this was really one of the critical pieces between Janos and Joe, that they were able to work with the Department of Agriculture and explain to them how we're using local heritage wheat here at Barrio Bread. And that was one of the forces that got us into the city of gastronomy, amongst these other reasons. There's certainly, but he was very integral in playing a part in doing all that stuff.
so we have a question online.
Yeah.
People looking for recommendations in the Northwest and Oro Valley.
Well, we do have a guide for the best restaurants in Oro Valley on the website. We have a guide for the best restaurants in Marana. Whenever you have a specific request or, I get hit up all the time. So you could text me. My number is 636-538-0326. You don't have to say, hi, my name is Peter. You can just say, best burrito in the Northwest side, and I'll just give you an answer. And it'll probably take me 30 minutes
This
because
will
I'm
be
probably going to call. And we're not going to ask the whole team to, so I'm going to get you a good answer. Unless I have a good answer myself, in which I'll give it to you. So you're welcome to text me. You're welcome to hit me up on Instagram. You can email me at shane@tucsonfoodie.com. We have a Slack group with our team and our extended writer community, and we're pretty active in there. So I can just drop like reader question in our little group online and we'll get you an answer.
It's true.
You can DM us on Facebook. You can DM us on Instagram. But first thing is to check to see if we've already done a guide for it. Because usually when we get a question 3-4 times, we go make a guide.
Yeah, I would say Blacktop is probably a good one for that. Dominic's. I know this
I really
is
like
big.
Dominic's.
Yeah.
Did you know they have a dedicated cheesecake chef who just makes cheesecakes? Yeah, go get their cheesecakes.
Yeah, really good stuff. And then Bottega Michelangelo down the street. I think they have a killer happy hour too. It gets packed in there. Okay, we're almost done, I promise. I just put together a few of our upcoming events. The Salsa Taco and Tequila Challenge is it's a Tucson Foodie partnership with Saka. That's happening tomorrow at the Hilton El Conquistador. If you follow Saka, then you're probably aware that they put on really fun, great events every year. This being one of them. They also have Savor, which I mentioned too, in the Botanical Gardens. That happens at the end of January, early February, and it's gorgeous. It is a great use of their space, and you can sample different bites. This one will be specific to tacos. There'll be tequila, there'll be cocktails, best salsa, and it's a very lively environment. There'll be lucha libre wrestlers, live music. It's great. Sonoran Restaurant Week. That's put on by Tucson Foodie. This is exciting. This year we've got close to 80 restaurants participating. They'll each create a menu. The big point of it is that it's 25% off of what they're, am I explaining that correctly? Okay, the value is 25% off, like if you had just gone to the restaurant and ordered all three things. So it's a discount, first of all. We have 4 different price ranges this year, $25, $35, $45, and $55. So if you go to the Sonoran Restaurant Week website, sonoranrestaurantweek.com, you can peruse through all of the restaurants. You can view their menus. Some of them you can even make a reservation online. And it'll take place over 10 days. So you've got from the 6th through the 15th to go and enjoy breakfast, lunch, dinner at different places at that discounted rate.
And it's the best way to. No. No. No.
We're putting on the dinners.
Yeah, so there is something new this year. It's public. It's not just for our members, but we handpicked 10 restaurants of our favorite restaurants. We asked them to just throw a special dinner that night. So for the 10 days of restaurant week, there's a interesting dinner happening each night. And we let the restaurant do whatever they wanted, charge whatever they wanted, so these menus are available every day, all day for the 10 days with the 25% discount. But then there's these fun dinners happening each night. Yeah. Yep. Sonoran Restaurant Week.
Yeah, you can see the information on the 10 dinners. We'll have restaurants like Feast. If you guys are familiar with the downtown wine bar Revel, they're also putting on a dinner. JoJo's.
Bata.
There's a few more. So
Coronet.
it'll be really, really great special menus. They won't necessarily align with this price range, but if you're looking for something fun, different to do, definitely one of those options.
Let me plug one that's not on here. We have a dinner on Monday. So this coming Monday, it's at Tohono Chul, one of my favorite places in Tucson, and one of the best botanical gardens in the entire world, according to somebody. I don't know, Better Homes and Gardens. It's not them, but it's somebody who's decided that. And I'm really excited about it. I put this dinner together myself. It's the theme is in conscious eating, right? Intentional eating. And so it's going to be guided by 2 naturopathic doctors. And I've asked 4 chefs to create dishes around local ingredients. And we're all just going to be in the garden. We're going to be in the very center of the garden. And we're going to experience this concept of conscious eating or intentional eating. And some of you are probably like, what is that hippie stuff? Right. We're so especially Americans, we're so disconnected from our food. We're disconnected from the land where the food was grown. We're disconnected from the farmers that grew them. And your whole eating experience, your enjoyment of food, the happiness that comes out of the food that you eat can increase when you just think a bit more intentionally about what you're shoving in your face hole. And so we're going to do that as a group. We're going to have some really amazing food, 2 indigenous chefs, 1 Chinese chef, 1 white guy, who's the executive chef at the bistro at Tohono Chul. And we're going to eat this food together, and we're going to experience it as a group. And it's going to be kind of hippie. It's going to be kind of fun. And it's just $75. And all the money is flowing to these great chefs. And 3 of those chefs don't work in restaurants, so you can't get their food typically. It's hard to get their food. And one of them is Kelsey Bartholomew, the woman who owned and ran Mother Hubbard's. Remember that restaurant? Mother Hubbard. So she's cooking one of them. So coming out, it's a Saudi Arabian chicken mole dish with like local corn, like blue corn masa and some weird stuff in there. It's going to be very, very good. Yeah. That's Monday night. And there's going to be 200 people. And we've got 160 tickets sold. So get them while you can. Vegan night market?
Yeah, one of the staff members from earlier, Hannah, I said she was Death-Free Foodie on Instagram, head vegan. She, along with Tucson Foodie, put together this really great vegan night market. the very first iteration of it, we didn't know how it was going to go. So we were set up inside of the Owls Club. If you haven't been there, it's the bar located just south of Congress on Scott Avenue. Thank you. And the demand was incredibly high.
We planned for 300 people and we had 1,300 people show up. So we doubled the space, we doubled the vendors, and then 3,000 people came to the next one. And now a lot of you are probably saying, not for me, which is fine. It's a very busy event. But now we had to move it to the Rieto, to the farmers market pavilions at Rieto. Who, by the way, recently said they're also canceling another season of horse racing, which is great for a lot of reasons, unless you love horse racing. I'm sorry. So huge venue. We had over 4,000 people come to the last one. We've got 60 vendors that are going to be serving food. 9 out of 10 people that come aren't vegan. Right? This is just a fun event with cool, weird, interesting food. We have vendors cooking vegan food from Phoenix, from El Paso, from San Diego, and from Los Angeles, driving their food trucks and their food carts over to set up shop and show off their food. It's fun. It's 4 hours. It's at night. It's September 28th, 6 p.m. Yeah? Yeah, 6 to 10 p.m. It's free to attend. You just buy the food you want to buy.
Yeah, as a non-vegan, it's really surprising all the really tasty things you can eat. This is just a slide on Sonoran Restaurant Week, but I think we covered it, unless there's any questions. Moving along. I think we're going to send out this deck afterwards too, so you guys have access to all of the links and any other, all the information on here basically. These are just different ways to get involved with Tucson Foodie. The first and the easiest one is to simply subscribe to our newsletter. We do a roundup of all of the really cool articles and guides and events through that newsletter.
It's free.
It's free. The next one is to become a member. You can join the Tucson Foodie Insiders. Did not get rid of the purchase passport.
You can click that link to join, or you can ask Colby or anybody here who's already a member for a special link. And then he'll get a free month and you'll get a free month. And if you don't like it, you can cancel inside of 30 days and you won't pay $1. But nobody quits because it's great.
It is great. You can also curate a guide, all of those guides that we were referencing, the gluten-free, best happy hour, best brunch. You can write your own. Our friend Colby here also wrote one.
Yeah, if you're an expert. Like recently we took our guide to the best wings in Tucson down, and we got this guy who's just a wings expert to make a new one, much better wings guide. So if you're an expert, hit me up.
And lastly, like us on social media. We've got a great Instagram page, Facebook. Are we still doing YouTube? Or some
No, we're
YouTube?
not really investing in YouTube. I can't figure out how to do it right.
And lastly, I mentioned getting involved via becoming an insider. If you scan this QR code, or if you go to TucsonFoodie.com/insiders, or just go to TucsonFoodie.com, if you enter in the promo code OLLI-UA, you'll get your first month free.
Okay, never mind about the link from Colby. Sorry, Colby. You're about to get 50 free months of Tucson Foodie.
And I believe that's everything. Questions?
Somebody is asking again about the membership, if it has gluten-free restaurants and that are participating in that as
Gourmet Girl. Well, I mean, there's only one totally, or two totally gluten-free restaurants in Tucson, right? Gourmet Girls, and wasn't there a dedicated bakery? And Renee's has a lot. All three of those are partners of ours, and they have vouchers in there. Gourmet Girls is cool because they give you 4 $10 gift cards, so you can go visit 4 times. And then they also give you a free 8-inch cake every year, which is a $60 cake. So you can just go in there, consult with them on a birthday party or I don't know, low budget wedding, and get a free cake and walk out.
This is why when I have my food classes, I always do it at 1 o'clock because everybody's had lunch already. And right now I can hear everybody's stomachs growling. So are there any questions for the Tucson Foodie folks?
Questions or like feedback, like one-way feedback,
There we
something you
go.
think we should
Hang
be
on one
doing
second.
different something we're messing up on, happy to just listen.
Well, I'm just gonna say I've been here 2 years and my millennial daughter has been bugging me to join this for 2 years and now you finally did it. I'll go use her free one and get it. and
Those dang
it'll be-
millennials.
So,
Now, let me tell you about our membership. I told you there's 1,000 people. About 600 of those people are retired couples that are just kind of ready to get back out and explore new restaurants. So we get a lot of great older couples. And then the other half, or the other 40%, are young couples that recently moved here from Los Angeles with no kids. So a lot of couples and a nice kind of, there's really nobody like me in the club.
We have a
Single
quick,
fathers, like my age, I'm 39, just like no middle age. I guess they're busy with working kids. So it's kind of split. So come hang out with some old people and some young people.
Indian,
My favorite Indian food is from Sher-e Punjab.
have you been to the one in Marana?
Are you talking about Tamarind or what's the other one?
It's over by the,
That's my second favorite one.
theater.
We
Yeah.
if
I
we did a
can't think
mixer
of their
there.
name either, but.
That's where we did the dinner with Deep Bouzier. Saffron.
No.
Oh, well, that's
not
my
in
second favorite.
Marana. It's over by the movie theater.
An Indian twist. Yeah.
Those are my top three.
Yeah.
Sher-e
Rob
Punjab,
coal mine,
which is
Indian
next to my
twist.
favorite sushi spot, which is Yomato. It's like tomato with a Y. Yomato. Sher-e Punjab is SHER dash E dash JAB. No, PUNJAB. Sher-e Punjab. Yeah, that's my favorite Indian food. I also really can get down on the buffet at India Oven on Campbell.
Spice Garden.
I don't really
when
like the
was-
buffet style, but like I go there for the buffet at India Oven. It's just like you're never waiting in line. I think it's like $12
And I
and
think
I can get seconds and fill up.
Govinda's is a nice vegan.
Oh, Govinda's is great.
Yeah, it's a
Healthy
yeah,
Indian.
very healthy
Is it-
Indian food.
Tuesday night, still Indian night there. They used to have a day of the week where they didn't.
I don't remember. I haven't been in a little bit, but I remember when I went recent or semi-recently, it was
So-
fantastic.
Well, obviously, everybody's going to run out of here to go eat lunch, I think, at this point. But I want to thank Tucson Foodie for doing this
Thank you.
with us again. And thank everybody for joining us online. I hope you've got, I guess it is a pun intended, a good taste of Ollie today. But we have an amazing catalog again of several hundred offerings this fall. If you want to join us for another free event, we've got over 200 people signed up for a webinar on Monday with the historian Elliot West at 1 o'clock. And you can find that on our website, ollie.arizona.edu. But again, we've got an engaging audience. It's a wonderful program made up of people just like you with amazing life experience that you bring to the classroom. And again, thank you all for joining us. And if you have any questions here at our campus, stick around. We'll be happy to talk to you more. And thank you all for joining us online as well. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.